It's over. It's finally over. I've completed one of my personal, insane, delusional, borderline, psychotic, long-term goals in Destiny. I've been passively working on this in the background while working on videos, short streaming, blah, 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 all of that. This self-imposed challenge has taken hundreds, if not thousands of hours to do. With Edge of Fate on the horizon, I set out a goal for myself at the start of Heresy to assemble what I believe to be the greatest vault in Destiny 2. And when I say that, I'm talking this bad boy is stacked nearly to the brim with the best things in the game that the game has had to offer since the beginning from the base game launching in 2017. And what I mean by that is you're going to be seeing a huge variety of meta weapon rolls, unobtainable rare weapons, every single crafted weapon in the game, rare armor, meta armor, insane stat juicer rolls, and lastly, some rare collector items that have been long extinct in this game for several years. But that's not all though. Getting all this stuff wasn't good enough. Any jabroni could just throw a bunch of stuff into their vault and say, yup, this is the best. So I took it a step further, a very stupid step that no one in their right mind should do. I made every single weapon and armor piece on my account max power. That's right, every single item that has a level is at 2020 pinnacle cap. Just to put the cherry on top to say the vault is at peak efficiency, if you will. Just to give you an idea of that statement, that is roughly 700 plus items, character and vault included, that are max power. In other words, that's over 700 pinnacle/power drops obtained within 4 months of time. Oh, and also every single thing is Masterworks. That's hundreds of shards and thousands of cores invested too. There is one more batshit insane thing that I did not mention yet. So you guys know how Bungie introduced an Artifice system for exotic armor? Now you can unlock that Artifice slot on your exotic for extra stats at the cost of an exotic cipher. Now I'll save you the whole rant about how hard ciphers are to get, but basically, they're really hard to come by in the game, as most of you know, I'm sure. And with that said, at the time of recording, I own 255 exotic armor pieces. That's 255 exotic ciphers needed. Just think about how long it takes to get one from Rahul or Zur, and you quickly realize how insane of a grind this journey truly actually was. And why did I go down this path of insanity? For the love of the game, baby! No, but seriously, I've been doing self-imposed challenges for a while now, from things like, how long does it take to get every raid exotic on a new account, to craft every weapon in the game and slap a rare memento on it, aka not the Nightfall one, because it's ugly. It's just something I've enjoyed doing to give myself a goal to do in the game, especially when the content is dry, and I think I'm doing something that no one else has, or doesn't at least match to the same level. It's just like anything else in the game that people set goals for, you know, soloing dungeons, speed running, maybe you're an emblem collector and you're trying to get every single one in the game, things like that. Goals that are personal to you, but they're not something Bungie official, if that makes sense. Okay, enough yapping about the vault, let's actually show it. Now, I'm gonna have a little montage at the end going over every single item with some nice background music if you want to just actually check every single item, but for now, I'm gonna just highlight some of the rare things, or meta things, and things like that. Alright, first on the list, let's start with Ignition Code. One of the older versions of this weapon, still having Vorpal, Slide Shot, and Disorienting Grenades. Next to it, we have a rare hand cannon, Vulpecula, specifically with shoot loot and explosive payload. I know people that are still trying to farm this roll to this day because it is so hard to get. The only way you can currently get it is either playing the lottery at Zur, or I believe waiting for a Dare of Eternity rotation, but even then, you have a better chance of winning the actual lottery than getting this roll to drop from Dares. Towards the bottom here, we have some relics. First, we have my original Midnight Coup, way back from 2017. I have kept it this entire time. As you can see, it still has 25,000 kills on it. I haven't used it in forever, but I've kept it the entire time, so that counts for something. And at the same time, I've also kept my original Better Devils. You guys remember when they said, oh, when you get your 10th Better Devils, it'll feel different? Yeah, that never happened. But anyway, I kept my original one anyway, with 40,000 kills on it. And speaking of OG, we have the OG Mountaintop here that I've kept the entire time with my 19,000 kills. They did bring it back recently in a new form with new perks, so it's a little bit less of a collector's item now, but it's still a relic of the past for me, so I ended up keeping it. Okay, this next section gets a little bit dumb. So as you guys know, last year we had Into the Light, where they brought Brave weapons into the fold with shiny variants of those weapons. So for example, here is the new Mountaintop. This is not a Brave version. However, here is the new Blast Furnace with the skin for the rare version that is a shiny. As you can see, there's a big difference between this glow on the tip and then nothing here, right? So I ended up farming a ton of these shinies through trying to get Edge Transit. And as you can see on screen, I have a metric F ton of them. We have a shiny Blast Furnace here. We've got another one here, another one, and another one. And then we have some Midnight Coups, which are also shiny. Some of these are God Rolls. Others are just because they're shiny and they're rare. You literally cannot get them in the game anymore. Here's a shiny Mountaintop as opposed to the regular one earlier. Here's Hungjury. That's been reprinted about 8,000 times, but this one's shiny, so it's different. And then lastly, for this page anyway, we have some Successions here that are also shiny. There's 4 of them, I believe. And that's it for the shinies. We've got a couple of extra Tanasha's Masteries here. One with Impulse Amplifier Chill Clip and another with Loose Change Chill Clip. I also have a Deconstruct Chill Clip version and an Air Trigger Chill Clip version that I'll show later on in my inventory. Next page, more shinies. This time, we have the Red of the Nine shinies. We've got a couple of dead Temu Forbearances here with New Pacific Epitaph, shiny version there, and another one there. Then we have a Judgment that's also shiny and also a decent roll, at least I think. And we have a second one here that's pretty trash, but again, still shiny. Then we have 3 Relentlesses here. One is with Firefly and Paracausal, not bad. Another one with Lone Wolf and Headseeker, and then a third one with Firefly Hatchling. And then we have a Liminal Vigil, which I don't think will ever be used ever because Rocket Sidearms exist. On page 4, we're going back to the past with the original Recluse. In fact, we have 3 of them. This one has almost 80,000 kills on it. This one has almost 80,000 kills on it. And this one has 69,420 just for the meme. On page 5, we have a small army of Ergo Sums. Well, not all of them, but the good ones, at least. We've got a Void Wolfpack round version with a Wave Sword frame. Then we have Wolfpack rounds again, but a caster frame and its arc. Another one with Arc Conductor and it's a Wave Sword. Another one with Perfect Fifth, it's a caster frame. Another one with Wolfpack Vortex. Another one with Swordbringer. Another one with Perfect Fifth and it's a Wave Sword. Another one with Sacred Flame and a caster frame. Then we have a Wolfpack rounds that's solar with Wave Sword frame. Another one with Wolfpack rounds, but it's an aggressive frame. Another one with Wolfpack rounds, but it's an aggressive frame that's solar. And then, we ran out. This is just a prosecutor. Nothing crazy. Moving on from that, we've got some more shinies. So here we have Shiny Luna's Howl. We have Incandescent Heal Clip. And then another one with Slide Shot, Magnificent Howl, Kill Clip, Subsistence. I don't think anybody cares about Subsistence for that roll, though. Then we have more Recluses, but these are the updated new versions, and they're all shiny. We've got one here with Sub Destabilizing. We've got another one with Sub and Master of Arms and Target Lock, if you want to throw that in there as well. Another one, this isn't really a God roll, but it's shiny. Another one, and another one, and that's it. And then we have Shiny Forbearance. We have Demo and Chain Reaction, as well as Unrelenting. And then another version with Ambitious Assassin and Chain Reaction. This is basically the roll that you would get on the Raid version. Then we have some Elsie's Rifles. So we have Rewind Rounds and Frenzy on this one. It's also shiny. Another one with Rewind Frenzy. This one has Keep Away Kill Clip. This one has Rewind Adrenaline. This is just basically a collector's roll for the shiny purposes of it. Not really for use. And then one more with Rewind Frenzy again. And going straight from there, we have some Velocity Batons. This one is Demo Attrition Orb, very, very hot right now, and a very sought-after commodity. Another one with just Destabilizing Rounds, because I couldn't get a Destabilizing roll with something that's not Reverberation. And then another one with Attrition Orbs plus Repulsor Brace, just in case I need it for a build. Speaking of rare dungeon weapons, next we have Unvoiced. I have 3 of them. This one's for PvP. I have Lone Wolf and Closing Time, though I've literally never shot it. Then I have a different one. This is for PvE. This has Redirection and Elemental Honing, and I have a third one that's in my inventory that I'll show later on, which has the perfect god roll of Redirection and Bait and Switch. Here's some more god rolls. We have Lotus Eater Adept. This one is Recon, Destabilizing Rounds, and then we have Repulsor Brace, Destabilizing Rounds. Up next, more shinies, but first we have a random No Survivors that is Weewoo Rounds and Incandescent, a sought-after roll, so I just have it in there. Then we have some Greasy Dicks, unfortunately. We have one here, that's shiny, a second one, a third one, and a fourth one. Don't know if any rolls are good there. Tell me in the comments if they are. I don't really want to use it. Anyway, here's a shiny No Survivors with Heal Clip and Incandescent. Then throw Demo and Master of Arms in there as well. We have another one that's just kind of random because it's shiny. A third one that is Rewind, Attrition, and Target Lock. And then a fourth one with Rewind, Master of Arms, Heal Clip, and Zen Moment. Then we have a Sudden Death Adept with Discord Redirection, a Prosecutor Adept with Attrition Orbs, Rolling Storm, Target Lock, and Dragonfly. And then back to more shinies. We have a Sudden Death here. It's just here because it's shiny, not a great roll. Second, we have a 1-2 Punch, Trench Barrel, Redirection Sudden Death that unfortunately did not get Assault Mag, but still, it is an incredibly good roll. And then we have an even better one. That's a Mega Juicer, which has Assault Mag, 1-2 Punch, Redirection, and Trench Barrel. The only thing I would have made it a 10 out of 10 IGN is if this was Discord. Then we have some shiny prosecutors. We have one with Sub and Volt Shot. We have another one with Sub and Onslaught. And then we have another one with Dragonfly and Onslaught. Then we have a fourth one on this page with Garbage, because this is just a shiny and the perks suck. After that, we have some Wilderflight. This is a standard one with Envious, Arsenal, Bait and Switch, and Spike. Then it's a shiny version with Bait and Switch and Envious Arsenal plus autoloading. And then we have a regular one, a shiny one with autoloading and Withering Gaze. And lastly, we have a Long Arm Scout Rifle shiny that has Subsistence, Rolling Storm, and Precision Instrument. For heavy weapons, we're going to go a little bit rapid fire just because I think people want to see rolls for heavy weapons as opposed to the other two weapon types. So I'm going to try to blow through some meta stuff quickly. We have the old Fallen Guillotines here with 20k, 16k, and 23k kills on them with Relentless and Whirlwind. We, of course, have Bequest, the crafted version, as well as the original version where I had 36 kills on it before the craftable version became available. We got Old School Hothead with Field Prep and Clown. We have Old School Reed's Regret with autoloading and firing line. We've got the original Cold Comfort that used to be the best rocket in the game. Then it got replaced with Apex Predator, which is right next to it, with Recon and Explosive, and then another one with Recon and Bait and Switch, and even that has been replaced since. Then we have Cataphract GO3, which was an insane grind for anybody to get via Trials and RNG. It has since been put to rest because there's a new GL that's much better in the Strand variety with Wicked Sister, but this is still a rare item and a god roll at that. After that, we have some Crux God rolls. I have a Clown Surrounded, a Slide Shot Explosive, a Clown Bipod, a Clown Explosive, and finally a Slide Shot Surrounded. You never know when you're going to need a God roll Arc Rocket, and I believe Crux is still the best one in the game. And then we arrive at the shiny gold mine. Let's begin at Hammerhead. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 shiny Hammerheads here. Here are the rolls. 4 times Target Lock, the standard, I'd like to say. Envious and Target Lock. Rewind and Target Lock, and then lastly, Rewind and Killing Tally. And then we have the graveyard of Edge Transits that I went through while trying to get the perfect god roll of Edge Transit a year ago. So here we go. First up, we have Envious, Bait and Switch, Deconstruct. That is probably the best one I've ever gotten when trying to farm for these. I mean, it's level 138, so yeah, I'd say that's a pretty fair guess. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 more after that. So here we go. We have autoloading Bait and Switch with Deconstruct. Then we have Cascade Point and then Bait and Switch. Autoloading Deconstruct. Cascade Bait and Switch again. Envious Cascade. Envious Bait and Switch with Explosive, I believe that was in there too. Envious Bait and Switch and Explosive again. Cascade Point Deconstruct. Another Cascade Point Deconstruct with Explosive. And lastly, Envious with Explosive Light. And closing these out, we're going to have some shiny Fallen Guillotines. We have Frenzy Surrounded, and I guess Bait and Switch if you want to get fancy with that. One with Relentless Whirlwind, Bait and Switch, and Attrition Orbs. Another one with Attrition Orbs and Surrounded. And then lastly, Vorpal, Bait and Switch, and Sword Logic. After that, we have another meta GL that had its time to shine for a couple of months, and then Bungie pretty much virtually killed it. Anyway, we have Chill Inhibitor here. The first roll is going to be the one Banshee gave away because the whole weight gate situation. So it's the god roll with Spike Nades, Envious, Arsenal, and Bait and Switch. After that, we have 5 more rolls. We have one with Envious Surrounded, another one with Cascade Bait and Switch, another one with Cascade and Surrounded, and then lastly, Demo Surrounded. Funny enough, Bittersweet is right next to it with the similar situation. We have one with Envious, Arsenal, Bait and Switch, and Cascade with Envious. Unfortunately, GLs are kind of dead right now because Bungie has nerfed them. And to close things out, here is some meta stuff. We have Wicked Sister, which is the replacement to Cataphract that I mentioned earlier. I have one with Envious Arsenal and Cascade Point, and then one with Envious Arsenal, Bait and Switch. Then we have the crafted version of Heathen's Vengeance, the best rocket in the game right now, with Envious Arsenal and Elemental Honing. I have one with Overflow, Bait and Switch here, and I also have the meta one in a little bit. Then we have some Cynosure's, the best Strand Rocket currently in the game, one with Envious Arsenal, Elemental Honing, Bipod, and Recon, and then another one with Envious Arsenal, Field Prep, Clown, and then Explosive Light. Closing things out, we have the new version of Cold Comfort. I have two to show. One is Cold Comfort Adept, which has Envious Arsenal, Elemental Honing, and Bait and Switch, and then a shiny Adept version of Cold Comfort, which has Impact Casing, Envious Arsenal, Elemental Honing, and Bait and Switch. If this was just something that's not tracking, it would be absolutely insane, but I still think this is an incredibly rare and great role to have for a shiny Adept. Now, as for armor, obviously, stat-wise, things are subjective. Some people like resilience. Other people want to spec into mobility because they play PvP and things like that. So I'll let you guys decide on what you like as an armor piece based on stats. However, I do have some rare exotics to show based on just how hard they are to get with a stat drop specifically. So for an example, here is my Wormhusk Crown. Why does this matter? Well, it's currently 82 base total while masterworked. If you take away the masterwork, that is a total of 70 base. 70 base exotics are extremely rare to get in this game, and the only thing that tops this is 71 base exotics that are only available to pre-Shadowkeep exotics. Otherwise, 70 is the absolute max that you can get, and it's like 1 in 1,000, or at least it feels like. Here's an example of the rare legendary 71 base stat exotic. We have Geomag Stabilizers here that are 83 total. Take away the masterwork, and they would be 71. Here are two more 70s to add to the collection. We have Crown of Tempests here, and then another Crown of Tempests here, both 70 base. Joining them are going to be a pair of Astrocide Verse, 70 base here, and then another 70 base right here. Here's a pair of Aeon Swifts that are 70 base, and then a pair of Syntheseps, same thing, a pair of Ashen Wakes that are also 70 base, and then finally over here somewhere, the Strongholds that are also 70 base. Then I have the luckiest or unluckiest pairs of exotic gauntlets that I've ever seen. You decide on that. I have 3 pairs of Aeon Soul. The first is 70 base, the second is 71 base, and the third is 70 base again. 3 pairs of these. Could I get, like, the good exotics instead with these rolls? Well, not the stat distribution, but the total base. Alright, we have a couple on this page at the bottom as well. We have one with Gwism Vest, which is a 70 base, a Lucky Raspberry, that's 70, another Lucky Raspberry, that's 70, and then another Lucky Raspberry, that's 71. Then moving along, we have Heart of Inmost Light, that's a 71 base. We have another one, that's 70 base. Then we have Crest of Apalupi, that's 70 base. We have Actium Warrig, that is 71 base. And then another Actium Warrig, that is 70 base. And then another one, that's 71 base, followed by another one, that's 70 base. What is this luck with Actium Warrig? Whew, okay, after that, we have a pair of Armentariums that are both 70 base, followed by that is Wings of Sacred Ding Dong, which is also 70 base. Then we have a pair of Vesper of Radius, 70 base. And then a pair of Chromatic Fire, which is 71 base. I just realized I'm saying a pair when it's actually one. It's not underwear. Let's just move on. For boots, we have Lucky Pants, which I can actually say is a pair, which is at 70 base. Then we have Stompies at 70 base. And then a pair of Gemini Jesters, also at 70 base. Under those, we have 3 pairs of Geomags. The first is 70, the second one is 70, and the third one that I showed earlier is 71 base. And on the last page, we have collector items. So if you started playing Destiny 2 recently and not at the beginning, you probably have no idea what the hell these are. But these are planetary mats that you can actually keep instead of rather just picking them up and getting Glimmer like you can these days. And these are from some destinations that don't even exist anymore. For example, Alkane Dust was from Titan, which you can't normally go to anymore. I believe Phase Glass was from Io, Dustlight is from EDZ, Alkane, like I said, is Titan, Data Lattice was from Nessus, Seraphite was from Mars, Etheric Spiral was from the Tangled Shore, Helium is from the Moon, Spin Metal is from the Cosmodrome, and lastly, we have Glacial Stalwart, which I believe is from Europa. And the last item to point out is Fizzled Emperor Callus tokens, which you could only get on the Leviathan raid. What's the Leviathan raid? Great question. It doesn't exist anymore, so it doesn't matter. These tokens have been in my vault literally since year 1 of Destiny 2. And hell, maybe if they ever bring back Leviathan, these will magically work again and I can get Leviathan armor or weapons with these stupid tokens. And the last item is an Archie plushie, because why not, right? Alright, so that was just some notable things to point out. Like I said, I'm going to have a little montage going on here that's going to be sped up a little bit with some background music, and you can see every single thing in my vault and what the rolls are and all of that, and you can enjoy that in that format. But first, let's cover my inventory so we cover all bases and close things out. Alrighty, here's the inventory. So this is just going to be meta stuff pretty much, things I use daily, builds, weapons, things like that. So we have Euphony, Multi-Mock, Attrition Orbs, Kinetic Tremors, Redrix for PvP, Agar Scepter, my favorite exotic, Outbreak Perfected, the MC Special, Perfect Paradox for the Stun Support Warlock build, Conscious Mastery with Air Trigger Chocolate that I mentioned earlier, Witherhoard for DPS stuff, the third Unvoiced I mentioned earlier, Redirection Bait and Switch, the Perfect God roll, Inquisitor, Cycle Pump, Mace Arsenal, Rolling Storm, and then I have one with Elemental Honing, I believe, Indent Kindness, Life from Gold Voltshot, the standard, Zuli's Bane, because it's awesome, Exalted Truth, PvP roll, and I have a PvE roll as well, Delicate Tomb, and Coldheart, playing around with Arc Warlock. This is garbage, don't pay attention to this. A bunch of exotics that are pretty meta staple-ish, you know, Whisper, Lament, etc. I have a Watchful Eye. I use this for, again, the Arc Warlock build. It's Arc Synergy with Rolling Storm and all that. My PvP Machine Gun Hammerhead, the perfect, quote-unquote, Heathen's Vengeance, that is Emmaus Arsenal Bait and Switch, and also has Bipod, Elemental Honing, and Cluster Bombs. Wish it had Overflow here, but that's what we have the other roll for. And that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, and then, you know, Slammer for Eager Edge Tech. For my armor, it's pretty much just meta stuff like Keitel Artifice Armor, and then some exotics that I use for particular builds. Here's all this regular legendary armor, and then the exotics. Apotheosis, Speaker Sight. Then we have some more Artifice here. We have Karnstein's there, and then Getaway Artist right there. Then we have chest pieces. Same thing. Sanguine, Rhyme Coat, Artifice Armor, Artifice Armor, Artifice Armor. This is when Artifice Armor was actually good, by the way, not the complete garbage that we get these days with 59 drops. Rain of Fire, Geomags, and then lastly, class items. We have Spirit of Assassin and Synthos, Spirit of Inmost and Synthos, Apotheosis and Star Eater, and then Necrotic and Synthos, and then 3 class items, but realistically, all you need is 1. Alright, Titan, let's start with armor. So the same concept applies, it's mostly just Artifice Armor from Keitel. Pretty good stats overall. I'm not going to go over these because you guys get the point. But I have my exotics here. Again, the Artifice slots are all unlocked. I just wanted to show that in case people didn't know what I meant earlier. So we have Skullfort, we have Loreley, we have Synthos, Pyrogale, Worm Gods, another pair of Strongholds, Karis, Heart of the Most Light, Hazardous, and then we have Line Rampants, Peregrines, Peacekeepers, and finally, class items with a pair of Inmost Synthos, Severance Contact, and Spirit of Assassin with Synthos. For my weapons, I have Supremacy, Lost Signal, Barodiad, goated by the way, Tenacious with Deconstruct Chill Clip, Conditional Finality, Scanner Signal, another Outbreak, and the SMG from Salvation's Edge. Then we have Reckless Oracle, a shiny No Survivors with Wee Woo, Incandescent, and Attrition Orbs, pretty goated. Elsie's Pulse Rifle for PvP, another Lotus Eater with Repulsor and Withering Gaze, Crafted Weapon, Cartesian, pretty old school actually, a relic as well from Banshee back in the day, a Barret Action crafted, Lord of Wolves of course, another Slammer for Eager Edge, Tractor, T-Lord, Winterbite, Corrective Measure crafted, QB, Galley, Legend of Acarus. And closing out with Hunter, the armor we have is Mask of Fealty, Foe Tracer, Assassin's Cowl, Celestial Nighthawk, Mothkeeper's Wraps, Shards of Galanor, Gift of Conviction, Falcon's Hauberk, Raiden Flux, Radiant Dance Machines, Star Eaters, Orpheus Rig, Stompies, and then the class items of Inmost Search Arachne, Caliban Synthos, Galanor Falcon, and lastly Caliban Liars. And for weapons, 1 more Tenacious with Air Trigger Chill Clip, 1 more Redrix, Mirror Imago from Court of Blades, the Trace from the latest dungeon with Tractor Beam and Rewind rounds, another Barodiad, New Land Beyond, Outbreak, Izanagi, Cycle Pump, Still Hunt, Choir of One, the Exalted Truth for PvE that I mentioned, Vex Mythoclast, Indebted Kindness again, the Pulse from Salvation's Edge, Prophet of Doom crafted, Parasite, Micro Johnson, Dragon's Breath, Commemoration crafted, Anarchy, Slammer for Eager Edge Tech, Fixed Odds, and lastly 1000 Voices. So that just leaves playing the montage that shows my entire vault. I hope you guys enjoy the video, and maybe more than 3 people actually end up watching this. Otherwise, I'm going to be incredibly depressed. All jokes aside, let me know what you guys think, and if you do enjoy the video, please consider subscribing today. It does help the channel grow and is much appreciated. If you want to go the extra mile, you can leave a like and or comment below as well. If you don't know what to leave as a comment, you can leave greatest vault in Destiny as the comment. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.